There's a really funny detail in this that people fixated on of like, if you eat McDonald's in France, you're a psychopath. Hey everybody, my name is Nick. I'm a director and editor living in Taiwan. And I want to talk about the movie The Killer, the new David Fincher movie. Usually I talk about Asian films on this channel, but I watched this movie and I just really felt like I wanted to say something about it because I found it so strange. Is this movie a good movie? I don't think so. I didn't really like it that much, but it's well made, which is weird. So I think it is a good movie. I don't know. It just got me kind of weirded out because I kept thinking like, what is a good movie? I don't even know anymore. And as somebody who makes like video critiques, it's something I've been kind of struggling with. And so I really wanted to talk about this movie and why it kind of made me feel a bit odd, like not knowing what's good anymore. Is something good if I enjoy it, or is something good if it has technical mastery and a lot of thought put into it and it's well done? I think that this movie has the latter, but it didn't have the former. And I think also, though, the former part of it was sort of intentional. I'll get into it. I watched a movie with Sonia. She is a normal person. She is very much a general audience type. She just likes to watch film and feel it. And I think it's great to watch movies with people like that because they have a really good sense about what's going on. They have a better sense sometimes than somebody who tries to critique the film very intensely. Sometimes you get lost in the weeds. So as she was watching this movie, in the beginning of the film, she said, he's kind of annoying because of the voiceover kept going on and on. This is the first point that she identified. Second point that she identified was about the midway point. She was like, I don't think this movie is very good. It's a little bit boring. Very interesting. At the end of the film, the conclusion of the film, spoilers, when he does not kill the client, she said, why didn't he kill him? That's weird. Okay, these 3 points, they are the unique things about the movie. They are the most important things about the movie. And she identified them very organically by being a general audience member. So I think that there's something to be said for the general audience member and just what they feel when they watch a movie. They kind of instinctively know what's important. First thing, voiceover. It's a lot of talking voiceover, and voiceover in general is something that they say don't do it. As a general rule, when they're talking to like new film students, they say don't put voiceover in your film. But there is a lot of voiceover in this movie, and it does get a little bit annoying. This movie, I think, is trying to tell us that this is the voice of the director. This is the director talking to us. He wants to communicate with us. That's why there's so much voiceover, and he's telling us all these little rules and all these little ideas. Very important. The boring part of the film. The film gets a little bit boring. It's a procedural movie about a hitman who misses his target, and then he goes around and kind of takes revenge on people. It's very, very formulaic. It's a movie that we've seen before. This concept is not new, unique, and it is done. There are some unique things about the film. There's a lot of details about the movie that are unique and Fincher-esque, but the plot in general, very standard. It's just a genre movie. Now, why is that important? What this film is talking about, and a lot of people have echoed this opinion, is that talking about his experience with Mank, where he tried to make this great, big, ambitious project and nobody liked it. He missed the mark. And then he's going back throughout and he's kind of taking revenge on people and trying to show people that he still has it. And how does he show people that he still has it? He makes a very standard, very kind of tried and true film for Netflix that is not unique in form. It's very set what the rules are going to be. It's also interesting that the stakes are very low, and so it gets a little boring. And I almost feel like what he's trying to say is very meta. He's trying to say, hey, guess what? If I make something like this that's very safe and that you know what's going to happen, you know that the hitman's going to win, that's what you want to happen, it's this male power fantasy thing. If I make this, you're going to like it, everybody's going to be like, this is great. But this film is not unique or groundbreaking or even very interesting, but everybody, that's what they want these days. This is the Netflix business model that works. Let's give people the thing that they know, they'll feel comfortable, they'll sit in their home, they'll watch it, they'll be like, yeah, that was okay, and that's that. And I really think he's very intentionally doing this. Now, is that a little bit of a cop-out? Probably. maybe he didn't know that he was going to make something that was boring, and maybe he thought this was going to be really interesting and unique. But I almost feel like he wants to bore us to prove a point in this movie. That's just the way that I took it. Finally, the end of the film, why doesn't he kill the client? Why doesn't he kill the client? Everybody else gets killed by this guy. This guy should just kill this guy. He's ruthless. This ruthless person. Why wouldn't he just kill him? Well, that's what happens. This is the meta kind of explanation of the film. That's what happens in the real world. You know, you got the people at the lowest level, the taxi driver, the people that work there, the middle management people, they all get retribution for their mistake. The CEO, the person at the top, they never get retribution. So the producer, the big producer, or the head of Warner Brothers, or whoever he's targeting or discussing with this, that person gets to make mistakes, and they get a warning. They'll get a warning, but they never will have real consequences for their action because they're rich. They get whatever they want. It's a little bit of the movie The Player. Now, that's a much better movie, much more entertaining. I love that movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. You can see it on my Letterboxd. But I do think there's a little bit of The Player kind of critique going on here where the rich guy gets away. And it makes the audience upset. Made Sonia upset, made me a little upset. I'm like, I want to see the rich guy get killed. And I think this is where the film becomes a little good because the reality is, yeah, he probably wouldn't kill this guy. It actually fits with the plot where, you know, killing the rich guy is going to be the most problematic thing. He'll get blowback on him. So it makes more sense to him to give him a warning. It fits in with the world that the rich people don't have consequences. Fits in with the reality that the rich people don't get consequences. But we as an audience member, we want that catharsis. We want to see the rich guy get killed. That is the message of the times that we're in, where we want that. You know, we want to see the person get their comeuppance, but the reality is they usually don't. And that's the reality that David Fincher is kind of exposing to us. So that's what I thought about this movie. You know, I thought there's a lot of details in this movie that are so interesting. You know, a lot about how like he as a director is supposed to be so anal retentive, so he makes this character that is like a character of anal retentiveness, but that even fails him. And that's how I think he views himself. It's like, I took all of these precautions, I took all of these steps, and I still wasn't able to execute my job perfectly because nobody can. It's impossible to be perfect all the time. A final thing I want to say is like there's a really funny detail in this that people fixated on of like, if you eat McDonald's in France, you're a psychopath. And I think that that's true. There's a lot of psychopathic things that this guy does in this movie. And the one that people haven't pointed out yet that I want to point out is he drinks Ensure. He drinks Ensure while he's on a stakeout. I've had Ensure before. I had to have Ensure when I was in the hospital once. Drinking Ensure is one of the most depressing, psychotic things that you can do. Drinking Ensure for sustenance when you don't need to, when you can eat real food, is fucking insane. So, very good characterization, very, very, very perfect detail that I loved. That was my favorite part of the movie, was him drinking Ensure. I thought that really kind of is a great way to show who this guy is. This guy only cares about sustaining himself, and he has no joy at all. That is brilliant. So that's just some thoughts I had about The Killer. I just really, really needed to talk about that. Yeah, I don't know if it's a good movie. What did you think? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Personally, I didn't enjoy it that much. I thought it was kind of boring. What did you think? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.